Despite there only being a few biblical references to him, Michael, the leader of the angelic army, is arguably the most popular of the archangels. His importance in Judaism, Catholicism, and even Islam cannot be understated. Let's look at the untold truth of the Archangel Michael. Michael the Archangel plays a particularly important role in Catholicism. According to the book of Revelation, Michael was at the forefront during the Great War in heaven. It is in this war where the rebellious angel Lucifer and his minions were thrown out of God's kingdom. Some significant religious figures, such as St. Basil and Thomas Aquinas, have even referred to him as a prince among the angels. Michael is one of only 3 recognized archangels mentioned by name in the Bible. The other 2 are Raphael, who is introduced in the book of Tobit, and Gabriel, who is identified in the Gospel of Luke. The book of Enoch, which is not officially included in the Catholic Bible, names 4 other archangels. They are Uriel, Sarakel, Raguel, and Remiel. Due to the leadership role he holds, many recognize Michael as the greatest among the 7. Some even argue that Michael is the only true archangel. The Epistle of St. Jude bestows this title upon him. No other named angel in the Bible shares this honor. The idea of other archangels may have stemmed from Michael being called one of the chief princes in the book of Daniel. It suggests that there may be others who share his rank. Despite Michael's prominence, much of his background story is shrouded in mystery. Existing knowledge about the Archangel Michael is limited to the times his name pops up in the Bible. All in all, Michael's name appears 4 times in the religious text, twice in the book of Daniel, once in the Epistle of St. Jude, and once in the book of Revelation. When the Archangel Michael is first mentioned in Daniel chapter 10, verses 10 through 14, the prophet identifies him as one of the chief princes, revealed to him by a vision. Michael appears a second time in Daniel chapter 12, verses 1 through 3. There he is said to be the great prince who will stand with the people during the end times. Meanwhile, Jude chapter 9 reveals that Michael was contending with the devil about the prophet Moses' remains. This mention of Michael is especially significant for 2 reasons. It is the first and only time Michael is referred to as an archangel, and it contains the only words Michael speaks in the Bible, directed at Satan: "The Lord rebuke you." Lastly, Michael is mentioned in Revelation chapter 12, verse 7, described as the one leading the angels of heaven into battle against a dragon, a manifestation of Satan. The battle ends with Michael and his forces triumphant, throwing the devil and the angels he recruited down into the fiery pits of hell. The Archangel Michael's mentions in the Bible have helped establish him as the top dog of the angels, which suggests that he's quite powerful in the heavenly realm. Interestingly, Catholics have historically regarded him as a powerful force even on earth. They have invoked his name in prayers and religious ceremonies. The founding fathers of the Church strongly believed that the Archangel Michael played pivotal roles during monumental events in the history of Catholicism. For starters, they raised the possibility that Michael was the angel guarding the entrance to the Garden of Eden. He ensured that the first man and woman would not be able to enter once more after they were cast out. Michael may have also been the messenger who published the 10 Commandments. He is also believed to have decimated the Assyrian king Sennacherib's army and blocked Balaam's way after the prophet incurred God's ire. Historical Egyptian Christians also held a feast for the Archangel Michael patterned after the Greek celebration, which falls on November 12th. They entrusted the Nile River's safety and life-giving properties to the heavenly warrior. Nowadays, the Archangel Michael's name is typically invoked in exorcism rites, especially when done to kick demons out of certain locations, as well as in various prayers. One notable example is the Tridentine Mass version of the Confiteor, a prayer of acknowledging one's sins and repenting for them. Based on the instances in which Michael the Archangel was mentioned in the Bible, Catholics believe that the chief prince fulfills 4 important roles. As a guardian of the Church, it is the Archangel Michael's responsibility to protect believers' souls from Satan's power, particularly when they are about to die. Related to this and the account of the war in heaven, Michael is also the arch-nemesis of Satan and the former angels under his command. He's tasked with leading the angels in fighting the legions of hell up until the end times. Thirdly, he is the Archangel of Death, whose job is to ensure the safe passage of the souls of the faithful departed from the earthly realm to the Lord's presence. In Michael, communicating with the Archangel for guidance and protection, author Richard Webster writes that the Archangel has an interesting job. He gives the dying one last shot at redemption to Satan's immense dismay. His final responsibility is to be the protector of God's people, the Jews in the Old Testament and the believers of today. The Archangel Michael is perhaps best known for being the constant thorn in Satan's side. As the commander of the angelic army, Michael is the devil's direct enemy and is often depicted triumphing over his foe. There are 2 chapters in the Bible believed to describe the downfall of Lucifer, the former light-bringer of heaven. Verses from Ezekiel chapter 28 tell the story of a magnificent being whom God, quote, anointed as a guardian cherub until wickedness was found in him, when he schemed to usurp the Creator's throne. Meanwhile, Isaiah chapter 14 verses 12 through 15 references how the morning star fell so low, cast out of heaven, and brought down to the realm of the dead, to the depths of the pit. The few accounts in the Bible about the Archangel Michael and Lucifer cover the full extent of what Catholics know about their eternal battle. It may sound odd for an angelic army commander to be connected to healing, but that's exactly how the Archangel Michael has been perceived by believers for centuries. Numerous accounts exist of the faithful invoking Michael's name for healing and protection. For instance, when a fearsome plague hit Rome in 950 CE, Pope St. Gregory the Great spearheaded a procession of atonement and penance through the city. At that moment, the Archangel Michael reportedly appeared at the Castel Sant'Angelo, also called the Tomb of Hadrian, and ended the plague. A marble statue of the Archangel was erected to mark the occasion. A bronze statue of Michael eventually replaced it. There's also the Mikha'elion, a sanctuary that was reportedly built by Constantine the Great after the Archangel appeared to him in a vision. It is said that alien devotees would spend the night at the Mikha'elion hoping for a vision of the Archangel and healing of their afflictions. Interestingly, the Jews entrusted their sick, not just their military victories, to the Archangel. Part of what spurred this belief was a story about the sudden appearance of a medicinal spring near the ancient city of Colossae in Phrygia. According to legend, bathing in the spring while invoking the names of Michael and the Holy Trinity cured many believers. As the warrior leading the angelic army into battle, the Archangel Michael is often shown as a knight warrior decked out in armor and brandishing powerful weapons. Illustrations of the Archangel Michael typically have him wearing a helmet with a sword in one hand and a shield with the Latin inscription Quis ut Deus in the other. Less frequently, some works of art highlight his role in the final judgment. They equip him with either the Book of Life or a pair of weighing scales. The scales are for weighing the souls of the departed. His nemesis in most of these depictions is often Satan in dragon form, usually defeated and lying at the Archangel's feet. Sometimes Michael is shown goring the creature with a lance or spear. In the book of Daniel, a vision reveals to the prophet that Michael will play a role in the deliverance of the people of Israel. Now, it's not entirely clear what the Archangel's role will entail. Nevertheless, it has helped forge the idea that Michael would act as an advocate of the Jews, and that he may even serve as a high priest who would help them attain salvation at the end of the world.
Thus saith the Lord God of Israel, let my people go.
In an earlier passage in Daniel, an angel appears before the prophet who has been mourning and fasting for 3 weeks. The otherworldly being explains to Daniel that a battle against the kings of Persia has delayed his journey to the prophet. In fact, it was only through the intervention in the battle by Michael that Daniel was able to continue his journey. He then warns Daniel of what lies ahead for the Jews. Daniel stops to return to the fight he had left, adding that the Archangel Michael was his only ally in that battle. Traditionally, angels are not supposed to play any part in mediating between God and the chosen people, which makes Michael's role as Israel's guardian and advocate unique. This has led to the creation of 2 prayers directly asking Michael to be Israel's intercessor. Michael also plays an important part in Islam. Known as Mikha'el, the angel is associated with divine providence and food security due to his role as the giver of rain. Similar to his role as Israel's guardian, Mikha'el is also recognized as the angel of mercy. He is often found interceding on humanity's behalf so that Allah may grant them salvation. Additionally, Mikha'el acts as a guardian angel, keeping sacred ground safe and rewarding kind acts. Out of all the archangels, only Michael and Gabriel, called Jibril in the text, are explicitly mentioned by name in the Quran, the holy book of Islam. In Quran chapter 2, verse 98, the 2 archangels are established to be on Allah's side against disbelievers. Muslim faith also establishes the existence of other major angels. These include Israel or Azrael, called the angel of death, and Israfil or Raphael, who will blow the trumpet on the day of judgment. The Islamic prophet Muhammad met both Mikha'el and Jibril, with the former sitting on his left side and the latter on his right. During this encounter, the angels asked him to recite the Quran. Interestingly, Mikha'el is described as a very serious angel by Jibril, who reportedly said that he has not laughed since the creation of the hellfire. Devotion to the Archangel Michael predates all other angelic devotions, tracing its roots to 300 to 400 CE in the East. A century later, the Western Church began observing an annual feast day honoring Michael and the other angels called Michaelmas or Michael's Mass. Michaelmas is said to be the Christian equivalent of the autumn equinox. It marks both a change in weather patterns and a starting point for many important sectors of society. For the English, Michaelmas often meant that it was time to elect new officials, begin the academic and fiscal years, and hire new servants. Meanwhile, the Irish liked to fish on Michaelmas, believing that good luck would bring them a great catch. A 3-day fast before Michaelmas was also enacted into law back in 1014 CE, during which servants were prohibited to work. Interestingly, paying rent coincided with Michaelmas, with food, typically a goose, becoming the preferred currency. The Isle of Skye parish even held a procession on Michaelmas, complete with a special cake called St. Michael's bannock. For Christians, the distinction between the Archangel Michael and Jesus Christ is clear. The former is the battle commander of God's angelic host, while the latter is the Son of God who died on the cross for the sins of the people. However, many believe that Michael may be more than just an archangel. He may be Christ himself before becoming human and after rising from the dead. Based on their interpretation of how Michael is described in the Bible, Jehovah's Witnesses believe that the archangel and Christ are the same. They cite Michael's depiction in the Epistle of St. Jude as the only archangel as proof. They claim that it suggests that there is only one angel and point out that the term archangel occurs in the Bible only in the singular, never in the plural. They also cite 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verse 16 as proof of Christ's association with the term archangel, as the verse describes Christ descending from heaven with an archangel's voice. Meanwhile, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints upholds that the Archangel Michael was actually the first man, Adam, before he became mortal. They base this partially on how they interpret the meaning of his Hebrew name. However, they also recognize his role as angelic commander and Satan's chief enemy and regard Jesus Christ as a separate entity. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more grunge videos about your favorite stuff are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.